You know, it really comes down to anybody who's managing an operation where you've got intensive animal production going on, and Brad, you and your colleagues know this way better than I do, but you've got to be able to maintain health in those animals, because that is, by definition, maintaining sustainability of the operations. I have to assume that the protocols we've developed are those that are going to best work. I mean, that's what you guys are optimizing, and you used that term several times this morning. Those that are going to work most effectively and efficaciously are the protocols we've got in place. Again, if tomorrow we somehow remove those, the alternative had better be, not catastrophic. It better not increase risk dramatically. It better not adversely impact animal welfare and other segments. Because again, you've basically you've created a larger problem than maybe you were trying to mitigate to start with. And so I do think we got to be very cautious about, especially in a policy arena, and whether it's policy driven by public policy decision making or whether it's top down kinds of initiatives. I think we got to be very careful of how many moving parts there are when we make that single change. And again, what's the alternative? And my preference is, looking at the economics of this thing, I think you got to have the alternative in place and tested before you take away the current technology, if that's the desire. So in other words, if you're taking away or remove the antimicrobial use, you got to already have Plan B pretty well set up for the current operation that our industry operates at. Because it could be from my standpoint as an economist, it could be a bit catastrophic if we don't have the alternatives already in place.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think there are huge unintended consequences if we don't think that through. And, from the producer's perspective, we have the potential for yield performance loss. We have maybe increased time. We have increased record keeping. We have increased burden there. We might have increased separation of animals that requires different facilities or labor. And I can't remember who said it this morning, maybe Bob, that said the cow herd, 50 head or less. And with a smaller producer, if that's the average size across the nation, if we could have a lot of unintended consequences by not thinking that through, that could completely change the way that the cow-calf producers produce cattle today. And I'm not sure what those will look like, but as Dr. Schroeder said, we got to really think that through and think about what's the unintended consequence, because it possibly could change the beef industry drastically, and we're not sure what that may look like.